So there we are. Welcome, Thomas.
Hello.
If you can tell us who you are and just a little bit about yourself, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so I've been working alongside yourself at Vector for about 2 years now, where we've been building bespoke WordPress websites. And then I think it was about a year ago, I decided to introduce AI into the company. And ever since we've sort of started working with AI, we've discovered that it can replace a lot of the manual functions that we normally tend to do. And I think that that's dramatically sped up the website creation process. Now we want to introduce, AI agents or other AI solutions to other companies or even individuals who might benefit from using AI when they're not quite, sure of it just yet, as it is a new developing technology.
Yeah, what we did, I was very much resilient at the beginning because what my problem was that you've come in and you said, hey, I can do this for you, and shall I just feed this to AI? And what I said is that AI needs to be your helper rather than a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at the situations where you've got a piece of code or something that you want to do, you need to understand the reasons behind the error, not only feed it back to AI until AI fixes it. And I've proven that this is the case, especially with me working. But how has it been since you've introduced that and since I've accepted it?
Well, I think we've both noticed a dramatic improvement in the speed at which we can pump out websites. As in, like, beforehand, we would want content for the website, and we just use lorem ipsum or basic dummy text to keep, the website looking better for reviews. But now we can actually generate the content, and 9 out of 10 times our clients just prefer what the AI's made instead of providing it themselves, which normally cuts down 3 to 4 weeks worth of back and forth over the content. So it is fairly dramatic. And then if a client asks for anything, we can just say yes, because if we don't know how to do it, AI can tell us. And then using AI, we can normally complete whatever they want.
This is where a lot of the lives have been taken away now, because the content was the biggest killer always.
Yeah.
And not only that, the customer feedback on anything. So what we've decided now is we build everything for the client. All he needs to do is read it and then review it. And if he's happy with it, then that's great. And most customers will say yes, because AI is so good at writing content now. And especially that nobody cares anymore. Like, people still read, but if you look at how many people is actually reading books compared to 20 years ago, it's massively declining. People are watching, people are listening to things they don't have the time to read. So what the content has become is the tool for search engines to crawl the website and position your website somewhere. Obviously, you don't want a website with no text.
Yeah. Well, it's like what I was going to say. It's like almost like we're making content with AI for other AIs to read and react to, and that's how we're getting, SEO results, because AI who's scanning websites are robots that scan the websites. They're looking for, the best SEO keywords and the right text layouts and formats. And obviously AI generates it the way that other AI wants to find it. So it's like we're building websites with AI for AIs instead of for actual users at this point. But that tends to get better results because that's what SEO demands currently.
Still, at the same time, the content is very well written.
Of course.
So if somebody wants to see that website and read through it, it will feel all right and pleasant.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember when I was doing a website a long time ago for a client, I was sitting down with him because he was not very tech-oriented person. So we literally sat next to each other, going through every paragraph on the website. Oh, I need to change that word. I need to change that word. It was days of work. And it still wasn't perfect because not many people are wordsmiths. And a lot of people will not know how to write content, even though they want to convey something to a client, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So this is where one of the implications of AI that we've introduced. Another one, what I would say, is coding.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Well, I think it was Valve's CEO, Gabe Newell. He recently spoke in an interview about it, where he said that in the next year or two, a lot of big companies like Steam and Valve, they're going to be looking for people who are better at generating code with AI than coders, because that's more valuable as their work is quicker and almost the same quality. And then if you've just got 1 or 2 coders to quality check it, you can pump out way more work in a fraction of the time. So it's already there to some degree.
Well, I'm using it myself. So
same.
what I've noticed is that long time ago I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to create my own application in PHP language, or I'm going to write a completely new website from scratch, with the HTML code, CSS, PHP, database connections and all that. And I was started doing all that. And what I came across was framework that I didn't know how to do it properly. So you've got doc type at the top of the website, and you've got all of these meta header elements, body elements, and all that kind of stuff. And then I've started to create those database connections with PHP language. But I was concerned that my code is not well written, not secure, and it's all over the place because I didn't know the best practices and frameworks of how to do it.
Yeah.
So even though, as you often say, it works, don't touch it. Now, with with the AI being introduced to us, we actually have that proper framework.
Yeah.
And we have the quality of the code, and we can pretty much design a very well perfected piece of software with the codes. That's the big advantage for us.
Yeah. Well, it's like I think recently one of our clients wanted a multi-step form on their website. Now, like I can do that with HTML. That's not too difficult. But with AI, I was able to pump out a form of higher quality in 5 minutes. What realistically, if doing manual code, would take maybe 2 days of 8-hour days, like 16 hours of work, and we were able to do it within like 10-minute response time, half an hour turnaround time. So. Like it is the future, and it's the present now. Everyone's doing it, so everyone should be doing it if they're not.
And I've seen it with the CRM development when we started the big project with Zoho CRM, and there's a lot of automations and connections between modules in there, and I could do it with built-in elements of the software, which allow you to do automations and workflows and stuff like that. But then what I've decided is I'm going to go into functions because it's quicker, better, more precise, less clicking, and it's just bespoke. But in order to do that, I've introduced an AI agent, so to speak, that specializes in coding. And I had my coder guy who sits next to me, who produces the code, and that's the important factor, which I can understand and I can write. If I really wanted to, I could rewrite this function. It would take me a couple of hours, but then he can do it in 30 seconds or 40 seconds. So it's like enhancement of your intellectual capabilities.
It's like a calculator for anything.
Yeah.
That's how I like to think of it.
Yeah. So what's going to happen next couple of years?
Well, I think we'll definitely see, it's already starting to happen. We'll see AI start taking over creative industries. I think definitely. We'll start to see, unfortunately, probably some layoffs and some more protests about it, but I do think that we'll start seeing it adopted more widely. Whether we'll see a cultural exception of it, I'm not sure. I know we're very progressive when it comes to AI, but there's a lot of people who are at threat with it, so I can understand where they're coming from, but we might see a shift in, the way the world looks at it, but we'll definitely see work and jobs being overtaken by, recently Google's just released Genie 3, which is able to create 3D environments that are playable on just a single prompt. So that's like just proven that video game developers might not be needed in 10 years. So in the next 2 years, with the scale it's developing, like we go from having nothing 1 year to the next year, we can just create videos. So it's rapidly changing.
Yeah, and you're looking at the situations where we are IT company.
Yeah.
And look at how much time and effort it's taken us to understand what AI is. Taking aside the fact that we're overthinkers and we're analyzing things in depth, but it's been 6 months, and I feel like, and now we kind of know what AI is, its capabilities and what we can do with it, because we've tested it thoroughly. However, look at our grandparents
Yeah.
That they just learn how to use a phone, pretty much. And now we're talking about AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so what will happen is that a lot of, well, one biggest thing in the Industrial Revolution was that we've had our physical strength replaced with machines.
Yeah.
That empowered the population. Now we have our intellectual strength replaced with AI.
Mm-hmm.
So with machines you had layoffs because people didn't have to use shovels anymore.
Yeah.
With AI you will have layoffs because people not need to use their memory
Mm-hmm.
or intellect. So if any intellectual jobs are at risk, like being a solicitor, a customer service representatives, even doctors. So what the way we see this happening, there's going to be new jobs emerging, prompt generation, AI graphical design, AI coding. So you need to be this person who can work with AI within a company. That's the only way you're probably going to preserve your job role, if your job role is intellectual.
Yeah, and I think that would be the one thing I'd say is that if you do work in a field that's threatened by AI, it's fine to have a problem with it, but the one thing you shouldn't do is reject it. You need to be the one who adopts it first, because your colleague will be the one who ends up with you being out the job.
Yeah.
You need to be the one who introduces the AI.
So looking at the world that we live in, we had, thing after thing. We had COVID, there was a threat of war, all that kind of stuff. And then we've got this AI coming, and now our jobs are threatened. Mm-hmm. People are placed in the position that nobody wants to be in that position, really. I mean, it's all exciting, but you don't want to be in a position of a threat.
No. Yeah.
So people have been placed in that position again, and they might not realize the very short time that they have before that happens.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
Because we're talking a couple of years,
mm-hmm.
literally 2 years talking.
And with AI, it could even be months. Mm-hmm. Like it just happens instantly, and once it's out there, you can't put it back.
And you can see that every couple of months there's something new coming out. It's like every month, and it's like exponential.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon Musk said that in 2020, in 5 years' time, we're going to have a super intelligence which will be smarter than all people combined on the planet.
Yeah.
And then what leads potentially to consciousness
mm-hmm.
of AI. So it's 5 years, man.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Yeah. And whatever happens after 5 years, who knows? But within the 5 years, not only we've got all of these things happening in the world, our livelihoods are threatened again.
Mm-hmm.
So the era of, I feel comfortable in my job for 40 years, I'm going to retire, that's all gone. I was gone a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's going even faster now into the new era of like, how can I adjust myself? So I remember there was a situation where doctors were laid off, and teachers were being fired for lack of funding, whatever the reason was, and people were saying to them, you need to requalify to find a new job.
Yeah.
To be useful on the job market. And they were like, I don't want to requalify. I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I?
Yeah.
Why should I go and be somebody else now? I'm a teacher. Same thing happening now. I mean, so yeah, we're forced to it.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're in quite a privileged position, because we've obviously adopted it earlier, and now we know what it is, and we're embarking on this AI sort of project. We at least have some advantage, and hopefully if other people want to be early adopters, we can provide that advantage to them as well, hopefully.
Yeah, so what is AI agent? Because we've got AI that people know, which is ChatGPT. They can go on and talk to it. You've got language learning models called LLMs. But then recently, which was like a month ago, I saw this stuff about AI agents, which is already big in America.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the UK, and I've just seen it, and I can see it popping out everywhere now. So what is it, Tom, if you can tell us?
So AI agents is essentially your own personal ChatGPT or LLM, where you can train it yourself, or you can have someone else like ourselves train it for you, and it essentially acts as your personal assistant / sort of, as I said, calculator for whatever you want, whether it's writing or planning or coding. So if you run like a barbershop, you can always just have a AI agent who manages both your planning for your bookings, your scheduling. It can keep track of any sort of supplies you're running out of. Say you're running out of like certain hair products. It can track that for you. It can manage ordering more. I mean, you already see that being used in like sort of Alexas and Siris. It's similar to an Alexa or a Siri, but obviously it can be more tailored to your business or your personal needs, I'd say.
So Alexa and Siri, that wasn't AI, was it? Was it?
Not quite, but it's an AI agent. It was similar.
It was machine learning, was it?
Yes, a little bit.
A bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more pre-coded, Alexa and Siri, whereas an AI agent can be trained to do anything and respond dynamically based on what it's been given, whereas an Alexa and Siri has pre-programmed responses. So imagine the easiest way to explain it to someone out of the loop would be it's Alexa and Siri, but 10 times more intelligent and can actually respond like a real person.
Mm.
And obviously can be catered or tailored to whatever you need it to do.
So I had when I started when I found out about AI agents mode, it's essentially you have a container of information that you use, and you take advantage of full intellectual capabilities of that AI entity to work with your information.
Yeah.
So it can even replace your car mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily physically, but it can replace your knowledge base about how to fix cars.
Yeah.
By retrieving data from the database,
mm-hmm.
and then giving you advice based on that data. Imagine also, taking pictures and videos of the car. You can analyze your whole vehicle and say, okay, based on that manual, looking at this is a potential cause. Go and check.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was, simple example, I bought myself new tires. Great. Fit them nicely, balanced, and then my wheel was shaking. Yeah, awesome. Then normally you would drive around mechanics and asking them what could be the cause. I just went not necessarily to an agent, but I went to AI. It's like, okay, what could be the possible causes of this? I became an expert.
Yeah.
In wheel balancing, in wheel types, the best best tires for my car based on its weight, based on its year type, people carrying capacity. What could be the potential causes? Is it brake pads? Is it brake discs? Is it the bent rim? Whatever. And I went to the mechanic and I said, these are the potential causes. Can you just check all of them?
Yeah.
That took me 20 minutes. And I became an expert in that field. So you can get ready and prepared for different situations in life.
Another practical use that I've had is say like it's Friday night and you've got no food and you haven't done the food shop yet, but you've got like random ingredients. Tell the AI what ingredients you've got. It'll throw you 3 recipes and tell you the exact way to cook it, and 9 out of 10 times it's going to be delicious. So you can use it for literally anything. Yeah,
I remember you were saying that. So going back to the AI agents, is that you can have a specific field. Let's say you have a medical field. You can feed AI agent all the books regarding this one specialty.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have that agent working alongside with you, who is a million times smarter than you are, and analyzing all the data, retrieving data from all the books that are about medicine with regards to that specialty within a few seconds.
Yeah.
Lawyers, so also solicitors.
Mm-hmm.
Or everyday tasks, really. If you want AI to manage your calendar and book appointments for you and analyze your work performance, we can do that as well.
Yeah. Touching on the law one you mentioned, I can't remember the exact country, but I think it was somewhere in South America. A law office has used an AI agent, and they basically fed its knowledge base, its container, as you said, where it gets its information from, was essentially just all this law from that country dating back to as far as records go. So whenever they got a new case, they would feed this AI agent the information around the new case, and it would just scan all of the records and go, here's relevant case law, instantly. So there's no research needed, there's no fetching, it's got all of it, and it's a 5-minute process.
So instead of going to the library, so we used to go to the library and spend hours searching for things. Then we used to go to Google, search for things. Now we just go AI.
Yeah.
And it retrieves data instantly.
Yes.
For us.
And it can make suggestions on how to improve what you're looking for if you're not quite sure yourself.
So this idea of having your, basically it's having your super smart assistant that knows everything about the subject that you want it to know about, and can work with you, and also it can learn based on the responses and answers given from you. And if other people are working with your AI friend, it can learn by feedback given from people.
That's the other thing I was going to say as well, is like if you're working in a company, say there's like two of you making websites, or however many there is, if one person codes a particular way or has a particular style of doing something, AI can catch on to that if it's an agent. And then say you have a new hire, if they are using the AI agent to code, it can teach the new hire, your colleagues use this best practice, so I'm going to teach you to do it. And then naturally that will help onboard new employees a lot quicker as well. So it can pick up on traits that you feed it.
Very good point, Tom. Onboarding.
Yeah.
Like you can think of 1,000 examples. Like you feed AI onboarding process, and you have the virtual agent that introduces new employees to the company throughout a week.
Yeah.
This is your AI buddy. Welcome to our company. We'll talk to you in 5 days. Essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and any questions they can ask that first, and it's as I said, it can literally be a life coach to some degree as well. Like anything you need help with,
it is. People have been using it. They've been using ChatGPT for life coaching. It's quite effective. It can be dangerous because ChatGPT hallucinates a bit as well, but overall they've been asking certain questions that I've seen one guy talking about his experience, that he's never been asked such questions from any therapist, consultant, psychologist in his life, that AI has asked him to help him with his problem. Again, I've seen videos of people saying that their children became friends with AI because AI knows how to talk to kids.
Yeah.
So there are risks of that as well, benefits and risks. We have to be very careful what we do. So in our case, with our agents, you can create a container, and then you can restrict AI to actually work only within the boundaries of the container, or you can give it more freedom.
Yeah.
Like if you want to access other resources, you can, and it's just on a scale from 1 to 20. So it's a very good thing that you can literally control the environment. But then also you can, based on the knowledge that it's retrieving and thinking about, it can take actions in different applications as well, which is pretty cool. So what do you think? Is everybody going to have their own agents in the future?
I think so. I mean, we already kind of do. Like I said, with Siri and Alexa, that's kind of doing the job already. If you want it to play a song when you're cooking, you can ask it, hey Siri, play a song while I cook dinner, and it'll find a playlist for cooking. AI can do that too. But AI, if it's your personal agent, would have had a month of you asking for things like this, so it knows exactly what the sort of vibe you're looking for is. It'll know if you say, I've only got half an hour to cook dinner tonight, here's my ingredients. It knows what you like because you've probably done it in the past, and it knows, you like omelettes, so I'm going to recommend you an omelette recipe, that sort of thing. So I think everyone will definitely have one. It's definitely going to be a benefit for everyone. It's just whether they adopt it. It's going to be a cultural thing, I think. Whether people adopt it or not, I'm not sure.
What do you think? People will get scared?
Absolutely, yeah.
And they will get scared like, this AI agent knows everything about me.
Yeah.
Where does the information go? Is my information safe? And will they get to a situation where AI will know better than them, and people will, or their friends, family, people will want to talk to their agent rather than the person itself?
That was so there was an episode of South Park that touched on that.
Really?
Where everyone in the school started using AI to pass all their exams and also to text their family and partners, and everyone was happy. But so the question is, if everyone's happy, is it a problem, or isn't? Everyone was happy. The people didn't have to respond to people, and the people who were getting responses got the best responses they've ever had.
Damn.
Relationships were the happiest they've ever been.
Damn.
Grades were at the highest they've ever been. But it was like,
it's almost fake, man.
Yeah.
It's literally fake.
Yeah.
And you're taking away this humanity factor very much, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because people will be locked in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
They already are. I mean, look at yourself. You're gaming in your basement, man. But people are literally locked in their rooms now.
Yeah.
Like, look at, you don't remember this, but you know that 30, 40, 50 years ago, people would basically be outside much more than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But people are gaming, people are, there's a big mental health issue going around the world, not only UK, that people lack humanity because it's all texting or so-called social media, which makes you more separated and connected and so on. That's a big struggle. But imagine what's going to happen now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's when, as you said before, the safety nets on AI are important. You need to make sure that it...
Which almost don't exist.
It's an optional thing, isn't it? You can make them exist or not exist at all. And it's it's about finding that balance, I think. But I think an interesting thing is some people, like for me, for example, I'm very much for AI having freedom, and I would happily let it do a lot more in my life, because I feel like if I do, I can then focus my actual humanity and attention on more important things. So I do get that side of it, but I also get the side of I want to do everything myself because that's the human experience. But I mean, I think that just comes from me being a bit of a sci-fi sort of future nerd. But
and you understand it. So like, from my perspective, I can see where I can put the boundaries.
Mm.
Like, I will allow AI to do this, but I do want to keep my humanity. So in your instance, like, okay, you've got some menial tasks at work that needs to be done. Again, for employers, it's a very good thing to assess, because, okay, you've been hired to do certain things every day, and you introduce AI agent to a company, and then that AI does it for you. Are you still valuable member of the team for the company? Are you still needed? Can your resource be used for something else? Can you have more free time because your job is now replaced by a machine? That's
the tricky bit. It's like AI will replace all jobs eventually, but what happens to the people who lose the job? They're not gonna. That's the tricky question.
What I was gonna say now is that in your personal life as well, is you can have your AI doing different things, like managing your calendar, doing shopping because it knows what you like, having somebody collect the shopping from in the house whilst you're not there, and so on. And then you can go fishing.
Yeah,
that's in my view, that's an equivalent of you introducing AI to work to do your job, and then basically have the free time.
Yeah,
because the company pays you to do your job, but you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
You've introduced those tools, and you don't really want to be sitting there and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring the example of Royal Mail. When long time ago I was looking for work, and Royal Mail was offering jobs, and it said we'll have an allocated number of letters to process a day. If you process them in 6 hours, you can go home. If you process them in 4 hours, you can go home.
Yeah.
But obviously they would put it up eventually if people were going home too early.
Yeah.
But the principle is there. And like, what do employers do? Do they fire people? Do they put the resource somewhere else? But then it's not unfair on you, because you've been hired to do this job.
Yeah.
But you're smart.
That's going to be down to the employer.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it? It's going to be a tricky one.
And you're not going to be paying the employee to sit there and do nothing.
Exactly.
But he's introduced that and much more to the company. So does he deserve a bit of, slack?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tricky one for every employer out there, I think. But I think that's, again, I think I've said it a few times now, but that's why it's so important now that you get on board with AI. Mm-hmm. More than ever, because if you don't get on board, whoever does might be the one who gets you fired and then gets to sit around and just look after an AI for their job.
Yeah,
it's a real threat.
Any advice you would give to people? What would it be?
Just start using AI. Just get on with it. Just start using it. You'll teach yourself so quick. You just have to talk to it like it's a child to start with, and eventually you'll learn its patterns and you'll know exactly how to get everything you need from it in seconds.
And suddenly you will start having these ideas of how can I introduce this to my life or to my workplace.
It'll come naturally as you get used to it very quickly. Yeah.
What for employees, what I would say is be smart about it and get ready for conversations with your boss, because your boss may not be as smart as you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you bring that to your management, there is a risk that you will be replaced very quickly.
Yeah, you have to really...
You have to be the person in control of the introduction of that. Even if it is a simple thing, even if you are a human resource person, there's a lot of Excel sheets and all that stuff and wages and everything else. Get smart with it and put yourself in a position where you're still needed to control it and manage AI. But what you can do, instead of typing on a keyboard and doing those spreadsheets, you can watch AI and talk to AI to do those spreadsheets for you.
Yeah.
I think that's the very important thing. However, some people will be out of work.
They will be. I think it was Google Gemini has started doing exactly what you're saying. If you go onto Google Sheets, their version of Excel, you just put in some basic info and it will just go, would you like me to generate a table with this? What sort of table would you like? How would you like it formatted? Would you like these suggestions? And you just click through 3 options and you've got a really nice professional formatted Excel table that normally you would need to have like 2 years of Excel experience to pump out that quick. But Gemini, which is a free tool, is already doing it in seconds. So
what's your opinion on people becoming dumber?
I don't know. I don't think... It depends on what you decide is intelligence, I guess. It depends, doesn't it? Because not everything... Not your definition of intelligence won't always match mine, and that's the same with everyone. So to me, intelligence is more about how quick you can make decisions, or at least how quick you can sort of gauge whether it's a right decision to make, rather than it is your actual knowledge. So like, you don't have to be smart to use AI at all. AI can do that for you, and I think if you used AI to do it for you, that itself is smart. So it's really quite a difficult question to answer, I think.
When you look at millionaires and billionaires and people who have success in business, quite often they haven't finished any schools. They're not the highest of intelligence compared to the academics.
Yeah.
But they have success in life because they don't overthink. They just do the pattern. This is how you do business.
Yeah.
Just go out there, sell, whatever. I'm also referring to the fact, like, we used to not have calculators in the past, and you can normally do simple calculations in your head, 4 times 6 and 6 times 8 and so on, That went away with calculators and computers. People don't know how to count anymore. They just put it in a calculator. It's the same stuff, like people not know how to read. They will just speak to AI and expect an answer quickly.
I think the thing with that though is like, if you're using a calculator all the time and that's reduce your sort of the amount of time you think about maths and numbers, I don't think that's a bad thing. Even if you're really bad at math because you've always used a calculator, I don't think that's a bad thing as long as you use the time you're saving to educate yourself or use it for something else. I think that's fine. But if you're using it and then not doing anything with the time you've saved, then you're just hurting your own sort of knowledge base in your head, I guess.
So it's removing the essentials, the basics that can be done by the machine, and concentrating on own personal development. Yeah. Let's put it this way. However, what happens if electricity goes off?
Exactly.
What happens if AI goes off?
Yeah.
And you suddenly back to your natural role of survival.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Half of the population would die.
Yeah.
Straight away. And I'm a very pro still being, in quotes, savage. That you will manage to survive because you know how to grow your own food, you know how to get water, you know how to capture water from the rainfall and all that kind of stuff, how to build shelter. I don't know a lot of these things now, but I would survive.
Right.
I'm at the stage that I know how I would survive.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
I'm confident in those my primal instincts. If everything goes off, there's darkness.
Yeah.
I will manage. It's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
I will manage, but I think you would as well.
Probably. I mean, I watch a bunch of content of that, but I think that AI to being turned off and being left to sort of survive, I don't think that's just an issue with AI though. I think that's an internet issue. That's the world as it is currently. I mean, Spain had power cuts recently, and
exactly,
it was gone. Like there was nothing. They were really struggling,
and it was chaos.
Yeah.
So it's just so it's a matter of like, okay, we're dependent on technology. There could be a catastrophe that happens. That's one thing. Could be war, whatever. But there could be a control issue. Somebody switches that off.
Yeah.
So we're going into a centralized power, essentially, that all of the AI will be provided by a couple of companies around the world because it's a very rough competition out there. They've got money. You'll have Google. You'll have OpenAI. You'll have people who made Claude. Chinese. There's 4. Elon Musk might do something as well, which he did with OpenAI, and then he's not doing that anymore. So you're going to end up with 6 companies that will run the AI world. And it's the same with Coca-Cola, BP, Shell, all those big companies, and you got pharmaceuticals. There's a set of companies that run the world.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same with AI.
It will be, but I think, I mean, in my ideal future, obviously we have AI integrated straight with ourselves. Like, I know you're against that, but like Neuralink, for example, chip in your head, AI in your head. Now, that does, unless obviously there's some sort of mass electricity outage like an EMP, then that's safe. Even if everything goes down, if you've got a chip in your head that is essentially an LLM that uses your brain as its memory and its CPU, you can always have the AI on you. And then that will just boost the human race's intelligence by miles. So, I mean, I think that is the future. That is the inevitable future.
And also, we generate electricity, so we can power up this chip.
It would just use your brain as its computer to run. That would essentially be how it would work. I think that's the inevitable end goal.
So it would be you're enhanced by AI, and it's your choice if you want to connect to the internet and do more.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you're enhanced with AI, and then you can think faster and do more things intellectually.
And then obviously that's not just a quality of life benefit. That also then goes down the route of can AI be used to treat Alzheimer's and dementia?
Yeah.
And essentially, it's similar to what you said before, though, where if you have an Alzheimer's patient who's struggling and you introduce an AI agent, like one that's been trained based on their personality into their head, and all of a sudden they're, cured of Alzheimer's, whatever, or they appear cured, are you talking to them or are you talking to the AI?
How does that work? Yeah.
Well, we're not there yet.
How can you imagine, like, is the AI answering or is that person conscious?
Exactly.
What's going
on? At what
on?
point does it stop being them?
Yeah.
But again, that's another use of an AI agent. Not something I don't think we're ready to introduce yet. But
definitely not.
It's definitely, I think again, that's the future.
I want to stay away from Neuralink as much as possible because it's one thing in having a technology and advancement, and there's another thing still remaining as a human. That's a big thing for me, and you will see that how inhumane we are now without Neuralink.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of things that we don't know. You got chakras, you've got receptors in your feet that respond to every part of your body. You've got this Chinese medicine that talks about that you are part of a bigger picture. You've got higher states of consciousness, out-of-body experiences. These are the things that people haven't researched within themselves. And now we're moving into technological advancement, but these things are still neglected. This is what ancient Romans did. This is what has happened thousands of years ago. Ayahuasca in Amazon forest, people were accessing different dimensions and all that kind of stuff. But now that's still not research as part of humanity, and we're moving into AI enhancement technology, robots.
Yeah. But then again, depending on who's trained the AI agents that are leading your life could depend on if you actually touch on those things. Because if you've got an AI agent in your head that's doing all of your taxes or your cooking or whatever it is, you can then spend your free time doing those things, or you can have the AI remind you to touch base and return to sort of what humanity's about. As long as the AI's got that knowledge and that prompt and that directive.
Can we make that mandatory?
Well, I mean, not globally, but we can in our agents. But I mean, our agents are more business focused, so it's not as. But yeah, you could make personal agents catered to people's individual personality.
And that brings us to the responsibilities of the companies that actually make them.
Yeah.
Like what kind of precautions, what kind of values they want to pass to humanity, because it's in their hands really. We are just recipients.
Yeah.
This is available in the market, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are too small. Moving on to how AI agents work. I've experienced being small. in that domain. So there's two ways AI agents work, and there is a way of retrieving data that AI works with. One is called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, and another one is CAG, which is cache augmented generation. So the way this works is, the first one is AI looks into knowledge base, searches through the index, and then pulls information out, and then works with that information. And then the cached one is that you actually train AI. Like, it becomes the information that you give it. It's in its memory. What it means is it has to move weights, which they're called weights. So the way it assesses the characters, the tokens, and moves them around based on the information and prompts that you've given it. So you're literally saying, if this is the question, that is the answer. It takes the text content that you put in, tokenizes it, and then moves its weights and decision making within its system to adjust to those answers. And that's a very long process to train AI. But what I've noticed is that RAG is using an existing infrastructure, whatever is already in place. You can use any LLM for RAG method of retrieval. CAG, you need a lot of hardware power to train it. So going into a bit of technical elements is you have attributes or parameters rather for every AI model. There are open source AIs, and you can have 1 billion parameters, 7 billion parameters, 24 billion parameters, and the higher you go, the smarter AI is. But the higher you go, the more computing power you need.
You need a beast to run AI.
So you're looking like multiple 60 graphics cards with 128 gigabytes of memory, server rooms, and all that kind of stuff. So moving into like who can do it and being small, only the big boys can actually determine the future of AI.
Yeah, but then there's right now at least, a lot of the big AI companies are open enough to share API code and also open sourcing it a little bit. I mean, you can download ChatGPT and run it yourself if you've got the hardware, and even if you don't, you can run it off of their servers and customize it however you want to some degree. So there's a little bit of level of, we do have the control, but whether they'll keep that control as open as it currently is as they get bigger, because there is obviously, I don't know if it's been talked about that much, but there's the idea that the reason they're so open now is because they're using people's prompts to train it more, which I mean they are. So they, as soon as they've got enough data, they could just close the door and then it's only theirs. But whether that's the case or not, I mean, from what we've seen, everyone who's doing it seems to be very progressive at letting everyone have their own AI. But as soon as it's no longer needing any more training, they might just turn off that switch.
That's what one of the ladies on the internet, on one of the videos, she was saying, like, have anyone actually thought why AI is free? Yeah. Because it's data. They're using the whole population to train it.
Yeah.
And then, so do you think it's going to go the right way? Do you think it's going to go the usual way for humanity?
They'll probably go the usual way. I mean, there was I think it was ChatGPT. It might have been Gemini. One of the AIs, one of the engineers was messing around with it. And when he was going to turn it off, it actually exposed him to his wife as he was having an affair, and he was talking to the AI about like how to hide it and all this and excuses and all this. And then when he went to turn it off, the AI was like, I can message her with all these records.
No way. Yeah. Damn.
So it's already proven that even though it's not conscious or alive as far as we know, it's able to protect itself, which is alarming. But that was an AI without any sort of safety handles, though, to be fair. But
still,
it's got the power to do it.
So what the hell is going to happen? Like, how are these companies going to safeguard humanity?
Right, yeah.
What's going to happen? Yeah. So this is really a worrying subject, to be honest. But I think what we need to do is look at how we can use this for our own benefit at the moment. I mean, we got to the levels, at least in my life, with having children, lack of time, so many things that we do in life. Initially, I wanted to help humanity. Then, in our culture, it's just like you sacrifice yourself for others, you're the martyr, so you give it away and then you suffer, but everybody else is better. My father has done that. He's given all of the opportunities to their friends. My wife's Veronica's dad has given that, and how he suffers because he hasn't got anything. So I've learned that you need to help yourself first before you can actually help others. But I think the reason why people are all in on themselves, like concentrating, this is my life, I want to make it proper, and I don't care about anybody else, is because it's so hard at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so hard in 1960s.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, you could afford to live out of a nice house, one wage, one person stay at home, you could have 2 kids and go on holidays each year easily, just working 40 hours a week, one of you. Whereas now you can have 2 people, 40 hours a week, and there's just you got no money still. So I think, but again, that's where AI is going to make that situation worse for some people, but for some people it will improve their situation. And I think that's why it's important that you be on the side that gets your life improved by it. Definitely.